This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Officially welcome to the studio. I think I'm going to say our third tallest friend behind Sean, Darcy and Greg Hire, would you say? Is that accurate?
Yeah, but where's the tightest jeans out of all of them?
Liam Bartlett.
Come on. Come on, guys. Morning.
Hey, Lee, of course we've seen you on Spotlight and you had a big show last week, which was James Packer. I want to ask you about when you did the interview on the boat.
Yes.
So I was really interested
Tough
to see
gig.
what it was like on that boat, first of all, and how did you get out to it? Was it a helicopter or was it by another?
No, it was we took
A tender.
a little plane,
Yes.
to
okay.
the sort of nearby airstrip, and then we took they sent the tender out. And they said, we'll meet you at, the third grass hut on the right-hand
Yes.
side.
Yes.
And we said, okay, all right. And along came the tender. The tender looked pretty good to me.
Yes, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I thought, I'll take that. You can't go crabbing on the big one. But honestly, mate, you know how sometimes you think, this luxury lifestyle that people
Yes.
lead in that position, that status.
Yes.
It is amazing. It's amazing. But when you get there, you think, this is more amazing than I thought.
Yes.
See, because I thought it might have been the opposite, because I was wondering when you got onto that boat if you felt the hauntings of a lonely man.
Well,
and also I was wondering as well, did it smell like a single man's boat? Like, 'cause I'm just
mate, no, because the skipper meets you when you get there.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see this because
Yeah, no.
you have to film the other
Yes.
bit. You film the Hollywood bit, but the real bit
Yes.
is when it was a Scottish guy who's been the captain for the Packer family for about 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
great
A
gig.
really nice guy, really lovely bloke. And I said to him, gee, there's a lot of staff here. He said, well, not really.
By their standards.
There's not really, Liam. I said, well, what? And he said, no, there's 28 full-time staff.
And that's not, they're understaffed.
Yeah, and I went, 28? And he said, yes, but we're supposed to have 35.
Wow. So
Wow.
budget cuts?
We're
or?
down a bit at the moment. And I said, well, oh my goodness. Because the first thing they say, and I wore my boat shoes.
Yeah, of
I
course.
dragged out the
The
boat
old
shoes.
deckies, yeah.
I went straight to makeup and wardrobe and said, I need
Yeah.
a pair of boat shoes.
And some white shorts.
That's exactly.
And a captain's hat.
Well, as soon as I got on, they said, no, take them off. I said,
so you walk
but
around
they were boat
barefoot.
shoes, mate.
Yeah.
They're my
boat shoes.
And the guy said, no, you don't. He said, I can give you a pair of slippers. Or
Oh.
Really?
these special slippers.
we've got a person employed to give you a pair of slippers.
Yeah.
Wow.
And at the end of the day, you had to throw the slippers in the bin.
Yeah.
Or you can just go barefoot. So I said, okay, well, that's a nice choice. But it was just, you could eat your dinner off
It's
the,
another
off
world,
the
isn't
floor.
it?
Can I ask-
It was just phenomenal. But can I just say,
Yeah,
because I'll be fair to James
Yes.
Packer, he didn't want it to be an episode of,
not
lifestyles of the rich and famous.
yeah,
No, because
yeah.
it wasn't about that. And it was
No.
actually, he was genuinely doing it from an altruistic position.
Yeah.
Which I thought was fantastic, actually.
Well, my thing with that is just it just showed how much money you can have,
And not
people
be-
think,
Yeah.
especially
Oh, mate.
in this
Yeah.
day with
Yeah.
cost of living, everyone's going, oh my god, if I just won lotto,
Yeah.
if I
Yeah.
won that $50
We all-
million,
yeah.
everything would be
Oh.
fine. But it shows, and it's hard to believe that money can't give you happiness. It really
I
is
know,
hard to
I know,
believe.
Mate, I'm with you. I'm totally with you.
But yeah, it shows it, doesn't it?
Well, the other thing is we sat down to do, we were setting up, because it takes about 2 hours to set up. People don't realise,
No.
news, you sort of point a camera,
Yeah.
but when you're doing this long form stuff, it's a good 2 hours for the
Yeah.
cameraman to set up all the cameras, all
Yeah,
the
the
angles.
lights,
Because you've got
yeah.
6 cameras on
Yeah.
the shoot. So your lighting from all different angles has to be right and all that sort of thing. So we're sitting around, and I turned to the producer, I said, you do realise that what it costs to run this boat per year is about twice the annual budget of our entire program.
Yeah.
That's so
And that's
funny.
just the running cost. That
Yeah,
doesn't
just the
factor
running
in the
costs.
price
Yeah.
of the actual yacht itself.
Well, I think it's on record. It was well documented at the time that he took delivery of that boat, which is about 4 or 5 years ago, that it cost him $300 million.
for the boat.
Yeah.
It was an Italian.
Yeah.
It was an Italian boatyard that made it, and it was about 300. And they reckon today it's actually, bizarrely enough, they reckon it's worth 400.
Wow, it's appreciated. That's amazing.
Well, also in those circles, for the
Yes.
people who've got that money,
Yeah.
if they want a boat like that, they don't want it. They don't
don't
want it
wanna
in
wait.
a
Yeah.
5-year
Yeah.
lead
Yeah.
time. They
Yes.
want it tomorrow.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so
There'll be some oligarch or somewhere in Russia who'll take it.
But he did say to me off camera, he said, mate, this is not, like, I know they've seen reports of this, that it's for sale. It's not for sale. This is not for sale. I love this boat. This is not for sale.
Yeah.
Hey, Liam,
It's good because I'm not buying it.
one of the things when you go to an opulent house or whatever the case, you go straight to the bathrooms because for some reason you want to see what that's like.
Yeah.
So can you tell me about that? And I want to know about the food they served you as well, because you've got to eat.
Yeah, you do have to eat.
Yeah,
Sure.
and there's a chef, a whole team of them probably standing by.
No, the best thing is, I said to the guy, look, can I take that home? Because there's this little...
Can I get this to go?
There was this little tiny, like an old-fashioned ashtray, right?
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. It was sort of this little round thing that was slightly raised. And it was portable, it was like Bluetoothed or whatever. And you just sat on the coffee table and he said, if you want something, you just press that. Just put your... And the cameraman, my camera is, so they're always in for a free beer. He said, what? You mean you just press that if you want it? That's right.
So it's
You
the
just press
old-fashioned
that.
ringing the bell to get the servants downstairs to fetch things
it's
for
just
you. But
unbelievable.
It's just technology.
Next level.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Thanks. There's a shark in the water.
Certainly is.
The Chase
no.
Australia, 5 p.m.
no.
weeknights on Channel 7. As we know, Nathan's parents watch it religiously.
I love it.
Yes, it's very popular actually.
Yeah.
Rates really well. Look,
And they love the shark.
His name is Bryden Coverdale and he joins us now. Good morning, Shark.
Good morning. Good to be with you all, and thank you to Nathan's parents for keeping us going.
Boosting the ratings in Perth.
Shark, I would say they'd take you as a third in the bedroom.
If you're interested. 'Cause we know you're coming for telethon.
I think the line just broke up there.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Natalie,
quite hear that. We'll just move on.
Natalie,
Yeah,
the sentence, I know you're coming for telethon is not really
exactly.
what we're looking
So
for.
what we can do is we can set you up with Marlene and Brian and see what happens.
Yeah,
Just see if the sparks fly.
Who
Hey,
knows?
I want to know, right? So I know that my mum and dad think you're absolutely amazing, right? As they love all of your cast members, they do. And when I'm around there, we watch it religiously and we play the game. And Dad, we try and practice the, we try and jump in with the answers.
Yes.
Okay.
And Dad answers after the answers are given.
And still doesn't get them right?
No, then says that he got it.
Oh, right. Yes.
But I want to know, what are the groupies like from the Chase?
Is there anyone under the age of 60?
Yeah. What are we talking here? What's the quality?
Yes, look, there is, but they tend to also be, say, under the age of, maybe 12. So,
okay. It's either end of the age
and the
spectrum.
older demographic, absolutely love it. But look, I think part of that is just the fact that it's on at 5 o'clock.
Yes.
It's on at the polite time of dinner. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, you just finished at Sizzler, you're on your way home.
Sizzler.
What a great
R.I.P.
place, what a great memory. Hey, Shark, tell us about your journalistic days covering cricket. I was really interested to see this.
Why did you bring cricket into this?
Yeah. So I spent more than 10 years as a cricket writer for ESPN, Cricket Info, the biggest cricket website in the world.
God, no wonder you left.
All over the world. Yeah, covering Australian Test tours and World Cups, and lots and lots of cricket. And funnily enough, whenever I get asked a cricket trivia question, people think it would be my strength.
Of course.
Are you
I've
saying
seen
it
so
isn't?
much of it. Well, because I've seen so much of it, it all kind of just blurs into one. I just kind of go, oh my God, which country was that? Where was I when that happened?
Yes.
It's almost harder in a way to pinpoint when things happened.
Do you still watch it, like recreationally, or is it like a traumatic thing?
No, I love it.
Really?
Yeah, no, I love watching it, particularly the Test cricket. I love it. Love the Test summer.
You're a
this
purist.
will be a cracking one.
Yeah.
Exactly. With India coming out. I love Pat Cummins. He's what he's doing with the Australian team. He's a ripper bloke. So really still follow the Australian team pretty well during the Test summer. Yeah.
I've got a question about your performances during the Chase. I'm wondering, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys crap your pants before each thing? Because honestly, if you go for say you get beaten quite a lot, I'm guessing your job's on the line. Or do you feel like your job's on the line? Like, what do you get nervous?
Look, I mean, we do still get nervous, but it's more like the nerves that an athlete probably feels when they're in the moment of a big match or something.
Yep.
It's not so much, oh my God, am I going to embarrass myself? It's just that adrenaline kind of nerves, of going, this is a really good challenging score. I'm up for this, but I've got to be on my game. That's that sort of thing. And I mean, we also know that teams need to win the games, otherwise nobody watches.
Yes.
So if they beat us and they've done well, good luck to them.
Do you ever throw a question?
They've won a big pot of money.
Just throw one if they're really nice people or they really need the money or something. Do you ever
don't need to because I get enough wrong anyway. So I'm certainly not going to be doing that. But I'm always happy for the teams that win, while sometimes also just kicking myself and going, oh, my God, why couldn't I remember the capital of Kazakhstan or whatever it was?
I mean, who would know that?
It's a starter, obviously.
While we're talking about this, I just want to know quickly as well, training. Do you train? Because think about...
Like study, for example?
Yeah, think about TikTok trends and stuff. That all comes... And that could be a question. Do you have to be across all that? And if so, do you spend time throughout the week going, okay, I'm going to study this subject, that subject, or do you just absorb it all?
Look, I did a lot at the start when we first started 9 years ago because I really needed to make sure I was up to speed. But these days, there's a couple of things. Like I write over 100 questions every week for newspapers, so that is my study, really. So I'm constantly keeping up with everything like that. But what you really have got to keep up with is, like this year's sporting winners, this year's Oscar winners, all that stuff that changes every year so that I don't accidentally remember last year's ones when I'm getting asked about this year's ones. It's all that sort of stuff, the more current events things that are important to keep up with.
But it's stuffing more information you had, not letting any come out because you have to keep it all in there because it could be any year. That's a lot.
That's right.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun in podcast form.
The great man Matthew Pavlich is in the house.
Hello, Shawnee. Hello, Nathan. Hello, Nat.
I want to ask Shaun about Matthew Pavlich back in the day.
Yeah.
In the locker room.
Yes.
Was he one of the ones that just strutted around in his jocks?
A proud
in front
nude.
of, what was he like? Or was he one of the nudies?
Or a never nude.
No, he's not a never nude, that's for sure. I've seen his whole body many times.
He's very good at the helicopter.
He always went with either red jocks or red Speedos.
Yep.
Yeah. What about Shaun? Was Shaun strutting around, everyone bending down slowly to pick up things?
No, but one particular player, Shaun was probably, he liked his Speedos as well. So, ice bath, pool, and then into the shower Speedos. But no, he probably wasn't strutting around like others.
Yeah.
One particular player used to have a property manager, Paddy Watson, who was into his probably 70s or 80s.
Yeah, he was.
At the end of his tenure at the footy club, and we used to call him Little Yoda because he looked like Yoda.
He's
a beautiful man, and he used to get all the property stuff ready for us. But one particular player who used to wear number 1 would finish the training session and Paddy would stroll through, getting the jumpers, getting all the stuff out of the change room. And this one particular player would stand at the end of the locker room and he'd already taken his pants and his shoes and his boots off and would stand there with his arms up and say, Paddy, can you please take my jumper off?
So he's naked from the waist down. Yeah.
Naked. This person was from Kalgoorlie,
Yes,
Dave.
you know who this person is. Yeah.
And he did it religiously. And we never stopped
We won't
laughing.
name names.
I will.
But number one, yeah. Number one was from
But
Kalgoorlie.
it got me giggling every single time because Paddy would sort of like giggle over and laugh and say, oh, Luke, stop doing this. And
then take his
And then
jumper
take the
off for him,
jumper off.
like he's 4.
It's so funny.
There was this one guy who was when I was still at the club coaching side, retired. Pav, you played with him. His first name was Josh, and I'll leave it there. But anyway, I'd finished working here with these guys, and I've gone down to the change rooms, and I went to talk to him about his game on the weekend. So I was in the change rooms. He's come out of the shower, and he's got his towel wrapped around his neck because he was well hung. So he didn't worry about... Like, he saw that I was there and I was going to have a chat to him. So I was just sitting on the bench waiting for him to finish. Thought he'd, towel put on his
You're
No.
wearing clothes, I presumably?
Yeah. So he just puts his leg up next to me, a towel around his neck, like nothing's happening. So what a Nathan and Nat like? And I go, yeah. I go, you're just trying to show off here. You're not interested in anything else.
This particular...
I heard that Aaron Sanders wouldn't come with a towel around his neck, he'd come with something else around his neck.
This particular guy you're talking about would just be... He would be happy to sit there
Yeah.
in the nude.
In the
He'd just be
nude.
happy to sit there in the nude and
No shame.
Yeah, no shame.
Well, he's packing some heat, so he was up for it.
Oh, geez. How did we get onto this topic?
Me.
Okay.
Pav, so there's the Giants who are playing Brisbane who are in great form, and I think Brisbane might get up. I want to hear your tips because last week you left us here with the Bulldogs, right? The Bulldogs
got smashed.
They could be the team who win it.
Well, so history will tell us the top 4 teams this weekend in the semi-finals. So if you lose the first week and you host the semi-final, you generally win, right?
Okay.
So that means Port Adelaide beat Hawks tonight and the Giants beat Brisbane.
There's always an exception.
But I'm
Didn't
with
the
you.
Bulldogs win from 5th?
Yeah, but hang on, but not always. History says so.
Yeah.
If you're talking about percentage and numbers, the likelihood is those two teams that lost last week
but there
win this
are
week.
exceptions.
There are exceptions, and this year I think you can almost throw that history out of the equation, mainly because the difference between second, who was Port, and Fremantle to 10th was like a win, like 1.5 wins. So it was so even. So you could make a case for Brisbane to beat the Giants very easily. You could certainly make a case for the Hawks to beat the Power tonight. I think Port will somehow get it done. I think there's too much emotion, too much care for Kenny. I think the players will galvanise and get it done and upset the Hawks tonight. And tomorrow night's just a real toss of the coin. I think you're right. Brizzy have definitely... They looked really good for, 2 quarters last week, 2.5 quarters, then sort of dropped away because the game was done. I'm going with the Giants just because it's at home.
And better song.
Yeah,
and a better song.
Sean?
I know the French national anthem, the Lions.
Nah,
I do like
it's a big sound from the west of the town. There we go.
So you're going with the song you like?
French national anthem? Please bring that one
Yeah,
up. Let's compare.
I think with my tipping, I can break it down to songs.
Yeah, okay.
So get away from stats, facts. The team I think should be winning.
It's like how you choose your horses by colours.
And names.
It's working so well for
Who
me.
are you going with then? So you're saying Hawks and
No, I actually
Brizzy?
think that Brisbane can win. I think they can win the
Is this the French
title.
national anthem?
We are the boys.
That is the same.
La Marseillaise.
Yeah.
We heard a lot at the Olympics.
Unfortunately, I heard this a bit when I played.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean in podcast form.
We have with us US Navy's Lieutenant Commander Tyler Brown and Royal Australian Navy's Lieutenant Joseph Melbourne. We're particularly invested in the whole submarine thing because there's going to be some submarine maintenance happening here in Perth. We have a special, what we call a personality. We're going straight to the top here. Channel 7 newsreader. She holds the world record for continual news reading, essentially, over, how many is it, Susanna? 38 years or something now?
It's 40 in January.
Oh my God, I'm sorry about
But who's counting?
This is the one and only Susanna Carr. And we know one thing about you, Susanna Carr, and that is that you love submarines, correct?
I absolutely love them. And actually hearing Tyler speak, I sort of realised how my dad was a Marine as well, a Royal Marine. So maybe my whole background was based around ships and sea and things like that. But there's been this fascination with submarines forever and submarine movies. And you know, we all get to go on boats and planes, but most of us never get to go on a submarine. So there's this incredible mystique that you guys live every day. And you're making it sound so normal, but to us it's so other than normal. You know, it's completely otherworldly, the fact that your working day is at the bottom of the ocean. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's definitely... I'm sorry, go ahead.
How do you feel when... Does it ever occur to you, hey, I'm a couple of miles below the surface of the ocean? Does that ever actually... Do you just working away, or do you actually suddenly think, oh, my God, where am I?
Yeah, no, definitely there's the aspect of because sometimes I would think about the size of the building that could be between me and the surface.
Yes.
And,
Because I asked you how deep you go, and you said, I can't tell you.
That's correct.
That's a secret.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
One thing we do need to ask you is how accurate are submarine movies?
It's funny when the tone came on, because actually just yesterday morning before leaving the ship, we have movies that are playing on the theater, and The Hunt for the Red October was on.
Yeah.
So give me one ping only. And so,
is that accurate? Is it an accurate depiction of life in a submarine?
There are movies that are more accurate than others. Das Boot is a German film from the 80s. That's really accurate for the World War II type era submarines. But yeah, there are definitely some movies that are much more dramatized than others. It's hard to really talk about too much.
Yes.
But what I was going to say, and you might get a kick out of this, is on my submarine, we were... So submarines routinely go to periscope depth for various reasons. And the deeper you go, the pressure from the ocean is compressing the hull. And it actually affects the size of the hull to some degree. So one thing that we would do, for family members that are on rides, we can tie a string from one side of the submarine to the other when we're up top. And then you go down deep and you can see the droop in the string.
Wow. It compresses that much.
And so we routinely clean on the submarine, and we had this one time a sailor had to get between the deck frame and go underneath into the bilge to do some cleaning when we were up near the surface. And then just routine operations, we ended up going deeper. And we got a call up in the controlling station. He said, which is not typical for the engine room to request a change in ship's depth. So we had to call up to the controlling station and request a shallower depth. And when they asked why, we had to say because one of our sailors was stuck in the bilge.
Oh, he couldn't get out.
He couldn't get back out. And so
you squeezed him in there.
We did.
And it feels like the walls are closing in because the walls are closing in.
And I mean, he was safe. It wasn't anything like he wasn't in any kind of danger. It was just that the gap that he had slid through was no longer the same size because we were slightly compressed from the.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's always funny when.
We do hear creaking noises, but we understand why they are occurring. And
giant squid. You say it?
Yes.
That's actually
is that a thing?
It's funny you brought that up. One of the questions that we get a lot is, what do you see outside the windows? But we don't have windows. It's,
okay.
Yeah.
So you, if there was something out there, you wouldn't know.
Correct. No internet down there. No windows. No phone calls. So that's one of the things I was actually going to say is being on a submarine. You're down in your own world.
Yes.
And you're it's kind of relaxing sometimes because you don't have to worry about what's going on in the news.
There's literally nothing external because you don't know about it. And what's the longest you've been down there for?
The longest I've been down is 58 days.
What?
Without coming up, yeah. So we
58 days.
We left Hawaii in 2011, and then we pulled into Saipan for our first port call. In 58 days. Some of them stay longer if they need to. Yeah. It depends on the mission. We have what we call on the fast tax. We have a 90-day load list, so theoretically we can be out there for 90 days. But it just depends on what the mission is, what's going on in the world, and what you need to do.
Yeah,
Susanna, how do you feel about staying underwater for that amount of time?
Oh, look, maybe overnight would be fine.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
So our producer Amy's daughter Charlotte, she thinks you can only be a YouTuber if you live in a 2-story house.
Which means you're rich.
Which means you're rich.
That's the sign to her. Okay, they're rich because they live in a 2-story house.
When I was a kid, the other thing, so 2-story houses for me were just unfathomable. But the other thing that the real indicator of my rich friends was that whilst a lot of us did have horses and stuff, because it's a country, they went to Pony Club. So if you went to Pony Club, you were minted. If you just rode around the paddock like I did, you weren't minted.
No. Mum and Dad don't take you there. It's too much. Michelle's in Innaloo. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
How did you know somebody was rich, Michelle?
Oh, look, I'm ashamed to admit this because it shows my age, but do you remember those really brick hard antenna cordless phones that would just stick up, and you'd rock up and be like, oh my God, they've got a cordless phone.
Inside the house,
They don't have to be attached to the wall to talk to somebody. That was amazing to me.
And then you pull the antenna up and then you can walk around chatting.
Yeah, I thought I was hell cool when I got to hold one of those and walk around a house at a friend's house, pretend, Yeah, awkward.
It's so sad, isn't it?
Never had one
upon reflection. It's just such
I remember when the first time my dad got a car phone, and they were the ones that they had a cord in them, and the car phone was in the car. That was it.
Yeah, just in the car. Yeah, amazing.
So you get in the car, you take his keys when he's having a shower or something, and get in there and start ringing your mates.
Did you?
Yeah, all the time.
Because he could. Oh, thanks, Michelle. Chris is in Auburn Grove. Hello.
Yes, hey, good morning. How are you?
Hey, Chris.
Now, what's a sure sign somebody was rich, Chris?
There's always the benchmark of a 2-story home. A house with stairs, of course, but pop-up headlights. Like, if you had pop-up headlights on a car, you were rich. That was the fanciest type of car you could ever have.
No, I hear
it's a sports car, isn't it?
I hear you. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, there are some cheap cars with it, but it didn't matter. Had pop-up headlights, they were rich. They had the money. And I wanted a car. I needed a house with stairs and a car with pop-up headlights, and that was going to make me. That was going to make my life.
Did you ever achieve either dream, Chris?
Well, I lived in an apartment on a 3rd floor. So
pretty close.
But I did get an Integra, a Honda Integra, when I was about 19 that had pop-up headlights.
Oh, amazing.
Yes, Chris,
I'm so happy for you that you lived your dream.
Lived the dream.
Oh, incredible. All right, thank you. Frank's in Ocean Reef. Hello.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
All right,
Good,
Frank. We're just trying to find these indicators of wealth. What have you got for us?
Yeah, mine's a little bit sadder than everyone else's. My best mate used to have a roast beef sandwich with full salad and grated carrot, and mine was just a Vegemite sandwich. So, yeah, it was just a bit devo all the time.
That's a high class sandwich.
So his family could afford to actually put real food
But it was
inside white
every
bread.
day, roast beef. With butter.
I reckon
Sometimes we used to trade lunch.
Yeah, I reckon roast beef would have been an option for me as a kid, but I didn't like cold roast beef. So
No.
Mum never gave it. I got polony in my sandwiches
polony and sauce.
instead of roast beef. That's ridiculous, isn't it? Given the option.
Farmer's daughter, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, there was beef everywhere. It was a bit, you could. I didn't like it. I liked hot roast beef, but not cold roast beef.
Oh, yeah, always.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat, and Sean.
And a little Rave Sunshine just walked in the room.
Didn't he?
In
Rove
the face
McManus.
of a rose. Good morning,
Hey.
friends.
You came in throwing around compliments and hugs and
Hugs and
jeez.
compliments and
All
I
of it.
ran.
All of it.
You ran?
Why'd
That's
you run?
cardio. I didn't know it was a cardio day.
You know,
what is happening?
So you're worried about
Why couldn't you
missing
be on
your
the ground
scheduled
floor?
spot. You don't worry about missing your scheduled spot on this show. You know that.
That's true. I wasn't even
None
booked.
of us do.
I wasn't even booked.
I wasn't even booked. I just turned up. I just thought it's been a while.
I know it's been a while.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm
You
great.
you went to Paris.
Yes.
Didn't you?
Yes, went to Paris and then went to London for a little bit as well. No, so I was in Paris, but not. We
didn't go to
left
the
before the
Olympics.
games. We left before the
Who
games.
wants to be there for that?
No, but it was also if you were there like around the time we were there, just before the Olympics.
Yeah.
I think it would have been quite disappointing because there was a lot of things you couldn't see.
everything was shut down.
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot of gates and fences.
Yeah.
I just jumped them anyway. I was like, "Don't you know who I am?"
Yeah.
And they said no, but they were speaking in French, so I didn't understand. And but yeah, we had a wonderful
what you
time.
pleased.
But what do you do? Because we've seen you
What
here
do
in
I do?
Perth. We've seen you here in Perth on boats with
go.
Pink, right?
Yes.
So we know. So even though we know you and you're very normal, Rove, you do have this other celebrity
Yes.
life. So
It's
when
a
someone
very good
like
life.
you, I know, I heard. When someone like you is in Paris, what do you do that we don't?
Oh, that's a good question.
Are you going abseiling with Tina Arena or something?
I don't have any French. Oh, that's not true. I have French friends, but they're not famous.
Okay.
Yes.
So
I-
they'd be very impressive French friends, I'm thinking.
I have worldly French friends,
Yeah.
and that's very helpful because when you go to places outside of Paris, which we did, they can speak the language, they
Yeah,
can
that's
translate,
good.
and it means that French people don't hate you.
Yeah, that's true.
What about in the UK then, Rove? There's a number of people that you've caught up with.
Did I see you rubbing shoulders with the superstar that is Dave Callan?
Yes, outside Buckingham Palace.
Yes,
of
that's
all
right.
people.
Wow, the dizzy highs.
We had been to see.
I can just imagine Dave's at the bolt cutters trying to
Are
get to
you
the
ready
fence.
for this?
What?
The ABBA.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
He
Hologram.
told us he was going to
cries
this.
from the crowd. The ABBA hologram show
Yeah.
is
Like, I don't think I agree. When they're still alive, having a hologram show just seems lazy.
You're right, they should be killed.
If it's Tupac, it
They
makes
should be
sense
killed.
when
I mean,
it's
it's not
Tupac.
the hologram show
It's
can
not
exist.
long, surely.
Nah, they don't.
But the
They
worst,
just got it preemptively.
so that's quite amazing.
Yeah.
I won't spoil it. I mean, I don't know what there is to spoil.
What's there to spoil?
But it's they say don't film it because they want it to be a bit of a visual surprise
Right,
for
okay.
people.
And does it look like
But
they're
the
really
main
there?
thing is, so they all come out, and then there's points where they each come out, like as in
Individually.
They have a moment to talk to the audience. Yes, Sean.
Oh, ABBA.
As
Yeah.
a hologram.
The holograms.
As a hologram. So they've got bits where there's a bit of Benny might say, "Oh, that's when we sang the song Dancing Queen," and there's a pause where they know the audience is going to cheer, and he goes, "Oh, you've heard of it,"
Okay.
but in
so
a
the
Swedish
holograms
accent.
are doing crowd work.
Doing crowd work. However, when one of the girls, Agneta, comes out and she says, hi, everybody, thanks for coming. And this bloke yells out from the crowd, "I love you, Agneta!" And I'm like, she can't hear you. She's not here.
there.
This
And
is
then
a
does she go,
hologram.
"Oh, stop
Is
it."
it basically like yelling out you love Netflix to
Yeah.
Netflix?
Yeah.
Like it's like the points where people are trying to take a toilet break or even applauding after a song. There's part of me going, we could all leave
Yes.
3 songs before the end. They'll keep
They don't
going.
know.
Because they're
Exactly.
holograms.
Were you and Dave Callan the only straight men there?
What are you suggesting? We were a lovely
Are you
couple.
suggesting Dave Callan's
Really
straight?
Well, I'd never.
We had a lovely German couple next to us, and then there was a single Swedish man, Austrian man next to us. I think people were thinking, "Oh, it was a lovely little threesome." So we did. Well, we did. We did. I didn't want to make a liar out of it. But then the other thing was Back to the Future.
Yeah.
The musical.
I
What
know.
was
Did
it
you
like?
go?
You see it?
Yeah.
What was
Okay.
it
Why
like?
does that exist?
Well,
Who
mate.
asked for that? I
Yeah.
love Back to the
No one
Future.
asked
Of course
for
we
it.
did.
Was
Marty
it good?
McFly.
Should it exist?
I don't know.
Because if anyone thinks
I
it should,
still
it would be
don't know.
you.
I'm a big fan of the film. Essentially, it's just the movie on stage.
But what's the songs?
Well, that's it. I got back and
The Power
To
of
the
Love.
Future.
The Power of
Power
Love.
of Love,
They
Huey
do. They
Lewis.
do the two songs. There's another one called "We're Going Back in Time," which is another one from the
Yeah,
movie.
I remember that.
Yeah.
But then there's one that Doc Brown sings about what the 21st century could look like.
Yes.
And it's the 21st century, and it's just not very catchy. The songs kind of get in the way.
Is there one? Is there a song where Marty sings about how his mum tries to get with him?
I'm gonna pash my mum.
No,
And
screw
then-
it. I'm going to sleep with mum. I'm going to sleep with mum. I'm going to sleep with mum.
My Hero by the Foo Fighters.
Speaking of heroes.
Is he a hero? No,
Yes.
you told us you know Dave Grohl?
Yes, I
This is. I feel this is a very. I'm getting asked some loaded questions today.
Well, no, I just said you. I know you're friends with Pink. Are you friends with Dave Grohl?
I'm
The
not
answer
friends.
is,
I'm
but-
not in the same way.
But
But
you've met
you've
him a
met
few
him.
times.
Yes.
Yes.
He
If
would
I
say
saw him, I
hello
could
to
say,
you.
"Hey, Dave."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get you to read the Instagram post that he put out.
Okay.
All right. So you're going to
Here
read
we
it
go.
live. It's on the screen. Go for it, Rove.
I've recently become to hair. I've recently become the father of a new baby daughter. Oh, born outside of my marriage. This is a roller coaster ride.
Dude.
I plan to be a loving and supportive parent to her. I love my wife and my children, and I am doing everything I can to regain their trust and earn their forgiveness. We're grateful for your consideration toward all the children involved as we move forward together.
He beat
Dave.
Here comes my hero.
Is that what he calls them?
Watch it as he goes. Now that.
So when he finishes the act, is that what he says?
Dude.
There goes my hero.
All I know is that's an insane situation.
It's a
But also,
conversation, isn't
what
it?
led to having to publicly say, "Oh,
Yeah.
by the way,
someone was gonna out
lol,
them probably,
made another
yeah.
person with someone not my wife."
Yeah.
I've never seen something that's
My bad.
that doubles
Oops.
as a birth announcement plus a I'm cheating on my wife
Yes,
and my
plus an
family
apology,
announcement.
plus a plea for privacy.
For all the children. Oh, so that's as in I have
Yes.
other children as well as
Yes, he's
this
got
child.
3 children
Please
with
don't-
his
yes,
wife.
yes,
He's
yes,
been
yes,
married for
yes.
21 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a conversation.
I feel I need to send a text to someone.
Can I tell you right now? This must.
What's the time overseas? Hang on.
This must happen, right? This must.
Oh, okay, all
This
right.
must happen in real life.
When are we finishing up? Okay, great. No, we'll be fine. We'll be good. We'll be good.
If this has happened to you, this would be triggering every time you see a story like
Yeah.
this, and you go like, "Oh my god!"
It's like those like the Jinx. If you watch that series, the guy like who like killed people, like all these people are, I got away with it, and you're like like you would spend every day going,
yes,
When am I
someone
gonna be
didn't find
found
out
out?
now,
Yes.
but
Yes.
someone may find out down the track.
When's the
you
other
know,
shoe gonna drop?
when
Yeah.
you know it's the 4th time you're doing the lap
Yeah.
of someone's cul-de-sac with your child, and
Yes.
they're like, wait a minute, and then
Sean.
it all catches up with you.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
So Dave Grohl announced overnight that
He's recently become the father.
You found
of a
another
new-
father
It's the
confession.
one.
Do you want to read the
I'm
statement
going to read it
again?
again. Recently become the father of a new baby daughter born outside of my marriage. I plan to be a loving and supportive parent to her. I love my wife and my children. I'm doing everything I can to regain their trust and earn their forgiveness. We're grateful for your consideration toward all the children involved as we move forward together. This is Dave Grohl's.
Not you.
This is if anyone who's joined us late or watching this online. I don't want this snipped and taken out of context. Marsupialoftheyear.com.au.
Still good, Tasman. Still
Please
good.
vote for the quokka.
Dave
Vote
Grohl's-
for the number.
Dave Grohl's getting a few votes for Marsupial of the Year right
Yeah,
now.
that's true.
We did throw it out there. We're looking
Yeah.
for someone who'd had a good growling.
Had a good
Had a good
growling.
growling.
Hello, Bree.
Hello.
Hi,
Bree.
Bree. Have you been growled?
Not me, but my sister.
Tell us
Oh,
about
that's
it.
hard
Talk us
yards.
through it.
Tell us
Okay.
about it.
So essentially, she's married and her husband cheated on her and had a baby with someone else. They have 3 kids together, my sister and her husband.
Yep.
And my sister was about to have her 3rd baby when we found out that this other lady was pregnant with his baby.
Did he?
And-
Is he the one who confessed it, or did the other woman
No.
get in touch
So
with your
the
sister?
the other woman actually reached out to me.
Oh, to you.
And Yeah, and I had to say the bad news.
How was your
It wasn't a
now? How was
surprise.
that for your relationship with your sister then?
I mean, we don't really talk anymore.
That's the thing, right? You become the messenger.
I'm the bad person, but it's unfortunately it's not the first time that he's cheated, so it wasn't a surprise. But obviously, a baby is a big thing.
Yeah.
So she was with child at the time.
Yes.
So how far are their babies? The babies' ages apart?
Or like 2 months.
Are they still together, Bree?
That's the big question.
They are, but I don't know.
Well,
I don't
wait.
know.
So you're the one that she doesn't talk to as much, but she's still with the
cheating
husband.
Make it make sense, right?
This shoot the messenger
This is
stuff
great news
is
for you, Sean.
ridiculous.
Wow, Natalie.
Yeah, I'm just a messenger, but I apparently have done everything wrong. So, yeah.
This is sometimes the thing. Sometimes people don't want to know,
It's
and you
easier.
being the one who says,
They blame you.
"Hey, this is what's been happening." Even if it was him saying, "I need to come clean," sometimes it's about the person getting the burden off them, and putting it on their partner, spouse, whoever, to have to then pick up the pieces and deal with the mess.
Hey, Bree,
oh, that sucks. Sorry, Bree.
When you got that phone call from the chick,
So it was an Instagram
an
message.
Instagram message. So then, how did you break the news? Did you go over to her house? Did you take her out for lunch? What did you do to break the news?
Well, I had a bit of a chat with my family first and was like, what do I do?
Yeah.
We had to wait because my sister she'd had her baby like 5 days before I found out.
Yeah, that's not when you break that news. Yeah.
No, so we waited just a little bit, but we didn't want to wait too long, so yeah.
Did you think about going and seeing him? Right, I know the news now.
Yes.
I'm going to go straight to this guy's house
And say, you have to
go,
tell
hey,
her.
you have to tell my sister because I know this information.
Oh, look, I would have loved to, but I didn't. No.
And look, hindsight 2020. Was there ever a thought that you wouldn't tell your sister?
Oh, no way.
Imagine sitting on something
No
like
way.
that and knowing
And
every
if she
time.
found out that you hadn't told her, you would have
Well,
been in
then-
trouble
and
too.
then you'd be in trouble for that
You're damned
as well.
if you do and you're
I'm
damned
really
if you
sorry
don't.
that your sister's not talking to you, sweetheart. That sucks. You did the right thing.
Bree.
I know, but yeah, it's funny now. I just think about it. I'm like, but
You know,
yeah,
you know what'll fix.
wild.
You know what'll fix it all? A $300 gift card.
I was just thinking that would be great. You know, go to Yagan
You
Square.
deserved a drink and something to eat.
Straight to Yagan Square, everyone. Everyone's got a story to tell. It's stories at Yagan Square. See what's on at stories.com.au. Bree, get that
You deserve
into
it, Bree.
Big hugs to you, Bree.
yeah,
you are. It's a tough predicament to be put in.
I know.
I think you chose wisely, and I'm sorry to hear that it didn't work in your favour for what the results were. But that's a courageous move. So good
But
on you
you're
for that.
morally correct.
But anyone listening right now that has something to tell someone
I know.
is
Get your
going.
sister to do it.
You
want
just don't do it.
You want to have
Don't
friends.
shoot the messenger.
You want to have friends and family who gutsy enough to come to your face and tell you. You need that in
Straight
your life.
away. Yeah.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.